IGV actually stole them up with too when they went for this Witch Doctor and Treant Protector against them.
Yeah, I like the tree versus lifesteal too because it puts him on a position where if you get rooted, you have to rage there. And if you're already raged, you're just stuck in it. You force him to get an item which isn't really the most optimal.
Like
Ramses does do the Manta style, which it ends up working out because he usually goes with the standard Armlet, Echo Saber, Deso into the Manta, or maybe switching out the Echo Saber for the Manta between there. So it does put him on a little bit of a different edge, but also, oh man, I had something, but whatever. Yeah, so I was going to say the EG is probably going to look to be banning the Darkseer, obviously because the Slardar Darkseer combo that VP loves to run, since, you know, the support Slardar, you just give him a lot more potential, and the DK. I think those are the two big ones that EG should be looking to ban out.
10 seconds.
Of course, we did highlight beforehand when we were talking about Lifestealer in general, one of the least successful picks to actual wins throughout the group stage, but the one person who broke that rule was Ramses on his Lifestealer.
It was even Surrection's like said asked on stage to Ramses afterwards, like if you pick your Lifestealer, like how much do you feel like you've already won? It's like, yeah, we win with that, no worries, every single time.
I like both these bans, Sven and Alchemist. The Sven,
sure
obviously, the armor, the Warcry versus the Slardar is very good. It's a very good Wisp partner, and the Alchemist, I mean, yeah. Don't need to say much about that one.
Yeah, we know about that.
That's all that matters. And it's interesting that that the Darkseer is banned out there. Sure, Nine Pasha is great on that hero, but I mean, Sand King is still on the pool as well.
I think it just enables too much, like the Wombo combo. You know, the vacuum into Slaughter Stun. VP's been landing like 3 to 4 man vacuum combos with that, with the burst potential from the Lifestealer. It's just really difficult to handle. It's like, okay, we come out in the lane phases, and then these two melee cores are just running at us with Ion Shell. It's too much just increase.
And they move so quickly, like Slardar Sprint, then you add Surge as well. Like the ability for VP to initiate before you even get high levels on the Ion Shell is just too good. But Virtus Pro, so the Lil Weaver.
Well, we say that, we could also have Nine Pasha Weaver.
That
and I mean,
true.
it is a little bit of both. We've seen it both before, and we've seen yesterday how many teams love Weaver now.
You know, it's actually kind of cool too. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off
go
there,
ahead.
but the Weaver, you can do some like things that you wouldn't really think about, like infested Weaver early on in the game. That's like a shuttle, and you don't really need a blink tag or anything, and you can get straight to the back line.
Yeah.
What does Wisp want to do? He wants to stay in the back. He doesn't want to get focused down so heavy. Weaver enables that super hard. Wisp also has like 0 armor, so the bugs from the Weaver are extremely detrimental to that as well. So it's a very interesting pickup here for sure, and more minus armor. They already like to build a Desolator on the Lifestealer, amplify damage from Slardar, and then the Weaver, of course, building the Blightstone, Medallion, all that. Massive minus armor. You said you wanted to see some clockwork, and there you go.
I got my wish. It's Universe having the ability to make plays. It also has a lot of survivability thanks to the help of the Tree and Protect. I'm worried that EG's laning phase is just a little too passive against VP. And also, if it comes online early enough, the Clockwork gets a lot of space if he's able to like move up and be aggressive. So if you get a good couple of like Cog Burns on the Lifestealer, you bring down his mana, you might have a better chance in the lane, because then you don't have like that Rage and Open Wound slowdown, which would potentially find you in death.
DK, kind of expected, especially versus Treant. Like, you can just be able to force down a tower before the living armor comes out. Very good versus the living armor on heroes as well, and I mean, this is just a VP staple, especially when they have the Slardar and the Lifestealer.
Evil Genius's draft I like it because it doesn't need anything specific. You need levels, and you're gonna get levels no matter what. In terms of farm, sure, you have some core items that you'd want, but you're not useless without them should the lanes not go well. So far, indeed, I agree with Toby though. It's slightly on the passive side, but perhaps these last two.
So what
picks,
counterbalances that? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, what is going to be the?
You need big playmakers. You need some Mel that can actually set the tempo.
We still have OD in the pool,
and.
I'd
be worried about the OD primarily because once the BKBs are up, he's not going to control anything, and he's not quick enough damage to capitalize. I could almost prefer to see something more like, it's not even Templar Assassin, he matches poorly against the DK. But something that Samael can find a kill and quickly move on to somebody else. That's always the issue when VP runs such a lineup. It's so many like heavy strength heroes, then the Weaver with time-lapse. You commit the damage, you commit for a kill, but sustain doesn't do it. You have to instantly find that murder.
Great Wisp combo, great pairing versus Lifestealer, and great pairing versus Lifestealer and versus Dragon Knight.
And early aggression.
And early aggression, exactly. And they're dire, so it gives them the Roche potential. Maybe even some level 1 Roche. Doubt it, but...
Yeah. Not worth as much. They could do it with just the 2, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so what do we look forward to seeing here from Virtus Pro? We lack...
Disruptor is where my head's heading on
It is
this.
already banned.
That's the problem then.
Yeah, Evil
Do you think-
Geniuses saw that possibility too.
You think maybe EG goes back for something like a Naga Siren, since this is similar to what they ran in the group stages with the Ursa Naga? Ursa just kind of like making space all over the place while the Naga just becomes this like huge detrimental force, because that would give them the late game.
Don't you lose the game in the end though, because you still can't push high ground? Like,
That is
just,
the- yeah, that is
until
absolutely
you
the
start
problem.
murdering
Yep.
all of VP, the Naga's just going to be like, it's what Purian hates. Well, we'll play this game out to like 50, 60 minutes, and then the result is still the same.
I mean, this was, let's not forget, if they do go Naga, that was where the only victory versus complexity in that last game for Seeds in the group stage did get the win for EG.
Would definitely give them a lack of building hitters, so maybe something more like an Invoker, but that takes so long to come online, and you're so susceptible to getting blown up.
Speaking of building hitters, imagine if VP also try and combo this with something like a Jakiro. Insanely tanky lineup. You've then got nice control. Lane pressure is pretty good, and your ability to force down buildings with both the DK tick and Jakiro tick.
Yeah, they need more control for that Ursa.
Yeah.
That is what Virtus Pro will look for with their last support pickup, which is probably going to be Solo. By the way, Solo has all his heroes banned out. Apart from the Witch Doctor of the heroes that he actually played this major so far. And it is Sumail's Storm Spirit, something with a high tempo initiation possibility there. That gets removed by Virtus Pro.
Witch Doctor wouldn't be too bad. Getting his ulti off in a fight would be difficult, but he's a good counter against the Io and Ursa. But they banned the Storm Spirit out from VP, so there's that playmaker that EG could have used.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gone.
I do think the Witch Doctor, maybe even like a Rubik, just some hard 5, because they obviously, like, the approach that they have is they want this Weaver to be able to scale, and they want to be able to have their push timings.
Do you feel like Witch Doctor would give enough control over... Oh, hello, Morphling.
So Morphling, okay. So they go, that's a different super late game hero. With the Wisp pair up, it enables him to be even stronger. Of course, with Living Armor makes him even more powerful, but it's not this like 60-minute thing where we can't push buildings. Morphling can actually just like force towers down and split push super heavily.
Perhaps EG were inspired by Ad Finum yesterday. See a big Morphling there.
I would not be surprised. And then again, the Morphling is one of the heroes that they actually didn't do that well with at the summit.
It's kind of smart now. You kind of think that they were already deciding on the Morphling when you see that Disruptor ban beforehand on the 4th ban. Maybe they were just kind of prepping for it in the later stages. So that's a really cool approach that EG took to guarantee themselves a nice Morphling pickup.
I'm still concerned about EG's draft coming online a little bit too late. And like, what they're going to match up, like when EG's ready to fight, VP's going to have a lot of farm on their DK, on their Lifestealer. You may have like armlets both on these guys. Even we might find farm, and now you get an Ancient Apparition at the end.
They have like the Slardar and everything for lockdown and the DK, but this is very good versus the Morphling. But the mid lane, Wisp Ursa running at a DK,
Yeah.
I feel like he's gonna struggle quite a bit.
He will definitely struggle. I also still feel that Virtus Pro has got a lineup that they're very comfortable with. If EG can beat this lineup, they are going to force Virtus Pro to play differently for the first time that they've ever been forced to do that in this major.
Man, oh man, this has been one of the most hotly anticipated games of the Boston Major so far. One of the teams between Virtus Pro and EG is going home. Our panel was a little split. Looks like they're expecting to see big things from VP. I don't know if that's changed from the draft.
Oh, so
Not
far
for
this
now.
is their
All right.
comfort zone.
Everyone's going to be nibbling their nails, and we're going to be jumping into our first game of our day here in the Wang Theatre. Let's get into it, though. It's EG, VP, and your casters on none other than Gods and OD.
Thank you very much, Alex. We're here in the theatre getting ready for the first series of the day. Evil Geniuses, Virtus Pro, in one of the most hotly contested matchups we're going to be expected to see here at the Boston Major. The game is beginning. We'll be able to hit ourselves into the map. But Gods, what's going on here? VP sneaking in this final counter pick of the Ancient Apparition. It's an absolute nightmare for some of EG's heroes. Is it going to be enough?
It's one of those crazy things where you think you've kind of seen most of what VP like to do, and then they bust out a different hero for solo on the 5 position. It's weird that the 5 position is the hero to talk about, but it's such a good hero to counter the healing of the Io, the Treant, the Morphling, when he's trying to morph strength if he gets ganked. Very good pick, but EG have a good plan. They've got very defensive lanes. They've got an Ursa who can kind of control the game in Sumail. It's a very good matchup mid for him with the Ursa versus Dragon Knight. And Arteezy, despite the fact there's an AA in the game, this is a great Morphling game. There's so many good ways he can split push, kind of just farm up. He shouldn't really be contested too much in the lane. This was a great pick for Evil Geniuses, even with the AA there.
I mean, with these heroes, who's going to start to up the tempo first? If you're EG, you have to be very worried about the Slark getting that Blink Dagger timing and starting to move Ramses around the map, jumping in on some VG's cores, which potentially 15-minute or so mark in aren't going to be quite at the position they need to be in terms of being ready to fight back against VP's aggression.
Yeah, the first few moves could come from EG after the lane stage when they hit level 6 on Universe on the Clockwork with like a Phase Boots Ursa and a Clockwork 6. They can get kind of aggressive, but around that, the real plays are going to come from the Slark Blink. Slark gets Blink, and that's where EG are going to be playing more on the defensive. They've got the heroes to do it with. They can IO tether save people. They've got the tree and armor. They've got the overgrowth to control the lifestealer. They're going to be the more reactionary team come mid-game time.
So as you mentioned, this mid lane matchup, Sumail certainly going to have the edge in terms of hero versus hero, and especially with the backup of Zai hanging around on the IO. How does no one deal with this? Is he kind of expected to hold his own, or are we going to see VP look to help him out in the early stages?
It's a tough hero to really help out. You want to give DK that solo XP as much as possible, so he'll probably just struggle a bit on CS, but he's gone for a Windlace Stout Shield, going very defensive with his items, getting the movement speed to be able to kind of get away from the Ursa when he needs to, but still a tough matchup. Even with the Windlace, he's still equal on movement speed with the Ursa, and that's before the tether. Once that tether comes in, Ursa can chase him down.
I can see the top lane Pasha. I was heading forward and trading blows with Crit and trying to force Artur back. CS-wise, Arteezy having a fine old time in the first minute. Easy 4 for 3 at the moment. And back over on VP's side of the map on the safe lane for Ramses. 2-0 at the moment, so he seems to have a little bit of a harder time, but he's got a good wave pushing in now. The Universe has just been trying his best to control the lane up, and he's already got that sentry down as well, and already moving across, seeing if he can find the supports, just keep eyes on them, and start to play around a little bit with VP.
Yeah, it's a nice little pull through from Lil, getting the creep wave away from Universe. He doesn't want to go too aggressive contesting it because it is a soon to be level 2 Weaver. Once he's got Swarm as well as Shikuchi, if you get in too close, they can easily chase you one down if you mess up with your cog.
Mid lane, I mean, he's got the Fairy Fire, but one more swipe will do it, but he's juked him out! He's only gonna juke him out with the Salve. It will be cancelled there, I believe, by the range creep or such, but no one able to keep his life intact. One touch away from being brought down by the Fuzzy Wuzzy.
Yeah, nice little juke there from no one, but he's still in kind of tough times. He's only got 350 gold as a mid-Dragon Knight, sitting on low HP. And as it is, he's gone for a second point in Dragon Blood just to try and help salvage this lane a bit. Lil.
I mean, it's Lil's support. I mean, you can't expect anything less from this man. Already coming in, sniping the courier 2.5 minutes or so in. Nothing on it.
But that really saves the DK's early game. You don't have to worry about Ursa getting a bottle out early or a phase boot, and no one suddenly goes from having 360 gold to having almost enough money for a bottle. He's up to 600, so just 1 or 2 CS away from being able to pick up a bottle in that mid lane. That actually goes for the boots, but either way, it gives him that little bit of a gold boost that really salvages the fact he was getting beaten in this mid lane.
Top lane as well. Looking at Pasha's offlane plays, he's getting the CS and he is getting the levels. It seems that because you have Zai kind of mainly looking towards the bottom lane, Pasha, he's able to find quite a bit from this offlane.
Yeah, he's not really getting zoned out all too much. The Treant alone has very high right-click damage, but Pasha's able just to use his level 2 sprint to kind of cut around. They're getting a bit aggressive now, but realistically they're just looking to zone Pasha, not actually go a kill.
Just trading blows at the moment. Back over to the safe lane of VP. Ramses 21 for 4. At the start we saw Universe trying his best to slow down the farm, but Universe, similar to kind of Pasha, isn't really slowing down the safe laners as much, but Universe is finding farm. He's 8 for 4, he's hitting level 4, so as well, this looks to be on par for a good timing for that level 6, which as you mentioned, is going to be pretty crucial for EG to step up the play before Slardar hits that blink timing.
Yeah, they can make some moves, like the Dragon Knight at mid lane becomes in a very vulnerable position when Clockwork's level 6. We've seen a lot of these teams who will rotate their offlaner towards that mid lane. We saw Dragon Knights struggle a bit yesterday in some of the games. They can fall behind very quickly if they get ganked once or twice.
Oh, and there we have a bit of trouble around the bottom rune. Zai, he tried to nab it, he's not going to get it. It's going to be VP that turned that around into the face of Zai. Get Lil that first blood, and if there's one thing we've come to learn from watching VP games, if Lil starts to get kills early on, we're going to see this quick medallion and such, and it's an absolute nightmare to deal with a support Weaver if he gets this early farm.
That's such a good rotation from Dragon Knight. He doesn't have a bottle. I imagine Zai's not expecting to be there because he has no bottle. Why would he go for that move?
And mid lane Pasha has come in for the early rotation. Zai is there, so it's going to make it pretty hard for VP to find anything out the back of this. In fact, Lil in trouble, points of verify. It's not enough. Sumail and Zai outsmarting VP We've seen them try for this time and time and again, VP. Whenever they play the Slark on the offlane, they always rotate Pasha in before he hits 6, try and catch the mid lane off guard. There's so much harder to do with the ward down, with Zai in position. It's a tricky move and it gets punished.
Yeah, and EG have the defensive options. They have the Io who can get that. They were hoping that they could do that perhaps before the Io respawn, but he was ready to...
Pasha kind of baiting Arteezy here in, and he's going to be fine there.
Thanks.
A little bit of a bait and switch, but Arteezy will be A-okay.
The double Wraith Band doing so much damage from Weaver. Lil may force Arteezy kind of back to Fountain here, or perhaps at least something like a Salve to be ferried out.
And lots of pressure being put up top, and at the moment Arteezy has been left on his own. Zai eyes towards the bottom. Now Crit's going to return to lane, and Salve is there ready for Artur, getting him back into fighting position to continue this farm game. And CS-wise, as we can see, still that mid lane. I mean, the CS difference is absolutely huge. Sumail 41 for 17 against no one's 14 for 0. No one, again, constantly being threatened to Sumail, just dominating this mid lane.
Yeah, this is what EG like to do. Set Sumail up for success. He's going in aggressive for a kill here.
And Lil is there to kind of offer a bit of backup. A quick turn towards Lil, punching him down. Zai, he's come across to back up Sumail. Lil's actually just going to focus down the Io, and Zai's in trouble. No one with the Breathe Fire picks up the Io kill.
A lot of heroes converging in the mid lane for VP, so the Io kill's a bit rough. Zai obviously being the target of a lot of aggression first at the bottom rune, now there, but realistically it's Ursa's continuing to put DK under pressure. Ursa's kind of kept alive there, so it's not the end of the world, and Ursa with an Invis rune could threaten no one's life here. No mana for a stun this time.
Yeah, and with Zai coming across as well for the extra chase potential, no one will be taken down. So as soon as they lose Zai, as soon as he's back, he's ready for vengeance. And they'll get that kill, bringing it to 2-2 on the board.
Yeah, things coming together really nicely for EG on their two corals, and these are two players that have to have a good game. You've drafted defensive supports in Io and Treant. You're running a kind of enabling offlaner.
Onslaught should be fine here with the waveform.
Yeah, their draft does not really make space for either Arteezy or Sumail to have a bad game. Both of these players need to do well. For VP, a Juggernaut who's strong in the mid game, they can work around that. They're still going to hit their timing where Slaughter has a blink. They've got a Lifestealer who can come out. Lil's getting decent farm on the support Weaver. They're not reliant on the DK having a good early game. So VP, they're still in a position to make their draft work, but similarly, EG have gotten what they needed out of the early game.
And with this lead that the Sumail has had on the Ursa, can we expect them to try for an early Roshan, trying to kind of sneak that past VP's eyes before the big ults come online in terms of solo getting the Ice Blast? Is that going to be possible for EG, or is it too risky?
Yeah, they'd love to. It maybe going to be perhaps easier if they just get a kill rather than try and sneak it. Put yourself in a situation where VP cannot contest it.
He's got the hook shot here, has got the initial stun, and with the Patriot Lil can't seemingly cast anything. And EG, with that rotation, as you mentioned, as soon as Uni hits 6, he's across the map looking for any sort of opening.
Yep, he'll be hunting some of these easier kills, even getting kills onto the AA. You mentioned the Ice Blast, how big it can be as far as contesting a Roshan. Every single hook shot should be getting used at this point. Uni's not going to be looking to find a lane to sit and farm, and he wants to farm heroes with his team. And that's exactly what he's already done once, so good start for him with his first rotation, and EG's still looking good. Mel's got, Mask of Madness, so Roche is very easy for him to take down now, and also just the aggressive potential of this hero. DK cannot go in this mid lane. He's actually vacated to go jungle as a Dragon Knight. This is really rough for no one. Kind of getting to that point where we talked about it doesn't matter too much if DK is a bad game, but this is turning into like a really bad game for DK.
I can see with the warning as well, VP at the moment do have this ops in the jungle and also by the Roche pit, so they've got pretty good intel if VG do start to make an attempt towards the Roche. Somehow come down into the nearby region or such with Zai as the backup. Maybe look at a bit of pressure on this bottom lane, push this out, get a bit more map control around this Roshan pit.
Yeah, and you push it out, you set the Treant up to heal up the tower. That's one of the beauties of this hero. Often VP's a team that wants to be able to take those early couple of towers to kind of get the ball rolling, that VP steamroll, but you get that Howard down to half and then suddenly it's healed back up, it gets that much more difficult to actually break, and they're going to actually have to invest more heroes and more resources to take down towers. Bring in the DK with an ultimate, make sure the Lifestealer has an armlet and they're fully committed for the tower with perhaps even Weaver with the Blightstone. They're going to have to just use more heroes to push towers that would normally fall without the DK rotation.
And ideally, of course, before the Roche, a kill would be nice. It looks like with this smoke, are they going to head straight in or try and find a pickup first? Somehow checks the area out, and he's going to go for it. He's got the backup of Universe and Zai just outside the pit. Hook shot to the ready.
Oh, he scouts the smoke, Lil.
Yeah, little spot Zai in the neighborhood. Not towards the side of Roshan, but now they'll know he's there now indeed. So Sumail has to be a little careful about how he goes about this. He does still have the backup though. So feeling confident, he stands his ground.
Yeah, this is almost impossible to stop. They could try and snipe.
They don't have Ice Blast. Solo's still sitting at level 5. No one's going to lead him with the Dragon Tail, but immediately Universe coming in with a hook shot onto Solo on the back lines. Ramsey's coming across as well, take down the cogs, looks towards Universe, but Universe is already TP'd out. And at the end of the day, it's EG getting the Roshan, getting the Aegis, and getting out of there, and it only cost them Crit's life.
Yeah. Perfectly acceptable there. I mean, the tree, it's one of those games where playing a support this game is not going to be a lot of fun for the EG supports, but their job is to enable these cores. Sumail gets himself the Aegis with the help of the IO tether. It does open up VP to take a tier 1, so I feel like VP, it's a Roshan they didn't need to contest, but this is a tower they need to take.
EG want to fight this by the as well. Sumail, he's looking about coming forward. Dragon Tail for no one, and now moving in. Pasha tries for the crush, isn't going to connect, so Sumail is not going to even lose his Aegis here on this play down bottom.
He's almost showing they want to go back in now that Enrage has come off cooldown, but VP have already vacated this bottom lane. Gives some nice needed gold in the way of that Dragonite. It was Morphling though, who gets a tower trade. That was Arteezy taking the mid-tier 1 tower, not the safe lane tower I was expecting him to push. This is a much more important objective to take. A lot of access points on the map, being able to go into that Radiant jungle now through the mid lane, and also just taking away a nice little TP location very central for the VP side makes that an important play for Arteezy to make.
I mean, for VP now, do you feel the priority is going to be just getting that Blink Dagger for Pasha done? They need to have some sort of jump to enable Ramses to start these fights. They do have level 6 now upon Solo. I mean, with that combo, they can blow up a fair few of EG's members.
It's whether or not they can wait that long, because Pasha's not all too close for it. They may feel they need to make like a Infest play for then, using like an Infest into the Weaver, or even like just getting Dragonite involved, go for a smoke play. There's a very deep Dire Ward that spotted numerous heroes TPing around the mid lane. It looks like VP are going to look to just kind of 5-man and brute force some of these towers. They've got the DK ultimate. There's a lot of armor on the Dragonite now with the Dragon Blood and the Helm of Iron Will. They feel confident that they can force EG to make a response, and Ursa's not a good hero to really defend towers with. Same thing for the Morphling. He doesn't have the items. He's going to be looking for the split push play.
Arteezy just working down the tier 1 up top. Crit on in mid at the moment with the living armor. Does have Universe in the neighborhood as well. Hook shot at the ready, so if EG want to jump, they certainly can try for it. Busy yet to join. VP. Looks like they're on the verge of finishing off this tier 1 at the University straight underneath this wall, but he's going to jump in Solo with the Ice Blast immediately onto Sumail. Sumail tried to chop down one, but Lifestealer jumps inside no one. Sumail just turns towards the DK, takes him down instead. They'll lose the Aegis and they will lose Zai, but they find the kill, not only just onto no one, but to Basher as well. And Sumail, he's not done yet. He's looking for Ramses. Ramses over the phase boot, seems to be a little too speedy, slows down Sumail with the open wood, but Zai, he's come in, he's backing up Sumail, he's relocated across to enable Sumail to find the kill. And EG there, holding on to the mid-tier 1, taking 3 big kills, all 3 cores of VP being knocked to the ground.
They just waited and waited. Sumail farming an Ancient Camp just to finish that Blink Dagger so he could make sure he got a great jump off. Ramsey's made the perfect play. We'll see it again here. He instantly realizes he's in trouble, and then he gets the Infest to get himself out of there. He gets into the Dragonite. That saves his life, but problem is Dragonite's going down as well. Sumail at this point is just too strong and able to take out too many heroes in these kind of fights.
And just the chase down, and of course that little sweet play from Zai, buying back, relocating in to just block Ramses. He did not expect it. Up to the high ground. Zai's there with the buyback, relocate, and just that little bit of a slowdown, allowing Sumail, once his blink comes back off cooldown, to jump in and finish off that big old kill of the Ramses Lifestealer.
That was a big sigh, almost of
very
concern.
big sigh from Solo.
He sounds almost a bit worried there. Has hit level 6, the Ice Blast coming online, throws the first one at Arteezy, who waveforms away from a Weaver to not get himself caught out there. We'll see Zai and what he's done. 100% kill participation so far in this game. He's been kind of the linchpin. He's pulled together this EG strategy. He's enabled the Ursa to do as well as he had in the mid lane. He's been the one who's helped chase down those kills, as we just saw with the buyback like that. So definitely don't look at the back. Zai is 100% of their deaths as well. It's been his involvement and what he's done elsewhere for the CG squad.
And we'll see if VP do try and attempt for that mid-tier one again anytime soon.
It's full HP. That was down to it was like 103 HP, now it's full. This is the problem. If you don't get that tower, suddenly you've got to, once again, invest all 5 heroes for a fight that you just lost that 5v5 fight. So I don't think you'll be too inclined to go for it again. And next time you take that fight, Morphling, yeah, he's got a Lincoln Sphere. 14 minutes 50, Arteezy is good to go. Bit slower than you sometimes see, but that's because he's got all these other small items. He's got the treads, he's got his Blightstone, Quelling Blade, even the magic wand. He's gone for all these items to make sure he has the best possible early game.
And the EG coming across here, 4 in towards the Radiant jungle. At the moment, Ramses is on his own behind that tier 1 down point, and Uni's found him. Ramses was trying to TP out, but Universe got the vision.
He can't TP now.
He's on his own. He needs members to come over and help him, and they will head over. But as we can see, oh my goodness, just Universe with the sense of mind to check that out, cancel the TP, and cause VP again to just have to play around EG.
He's found Pasha.
Pasha, he's very, very close to his Blink Dagger as well. That's a big kill as we're talking about. VP need Pasha to hit that Blink Dagger timing, being knocked back about 300 gold there. And crit, eyes on Ramses. Does have backup in the neighborhood. Universe doesn't have a hook shot though. But they're bringing over Sumail and Zai. Ramses in a lot of trouble here. He's going to be jumped on immediately, trying to rage and run, but crits there with the ult, holding the life stealer in place. And at 8-4, 16 minutes in, Sumail and Arteezy top of the net worth, but it's starting to look very, very grim for VP in this opening section of the game.
He may not be the elusive, annoying hero that the Bounty Hunter is, but Crit is reminding me a lot of what we saw yesterday from MNT on the Bounty Hunter, just constantly scouting through this Radiant jungle, finding the kills and getting the map information for his team. The dire vision right now is insane. A deep lane ward at top, at mid, in the Radiant jungle. EG see everything thanks to this Tree and Protector, giving them all the info. And then he calls his team in. He finds a life stealer, he says, team, come and get him, forces rage. As soon as he rages, he pops the overgrowth. This Treant pick completely disabling Ramses in this game.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Pasha 100 away from that Blink Dagger, and yeah, no one actually going to let him have the creep there to make sure he does get his way towards that Blink, the ever crucial item that Virtus Pro have been waiting upon.
They have to do a lot with it.
They really do. I mean, Arteezy, he's had all the space in the world.
They are behind right now by a big margin. They can't take towers. Normally this is a VP team who, for the Treant, would have taken at least a couple towers and not care they're behind on kills, but they haven't had that gold injection because of it. And this Treant Protector is keeping the towers alive, is keeping the vision game up. He is doing absolutely everything to make sure that these EG carries can farm and just find the kills.
Well, VP, we'll find the space to find a tower. Just require the 4 of them to push out. Meanwhile, pressure's being put onto their tier 2 on the mid lane from Arteezy. They are ready to fight though, smoked up.
EG should expect the Blink Dagger to be online at
Here's
this
the
point.
reveal. Pasha jumping in. Can they blow down Arteezy with the Ice Blast coming in as well? They should make a good job, but he gets the chance to replicate out. I think he's alright in the health department, that the Ice Blast is not going to bring him down. So Artur will walk that one off, and that's the Blink reveal done. And it didn't find that crucial kill. They're still trying to play around this Universe, holding on to the hook shot, comes across, disrupting the side of the fight here. Sumail trying to move it onto Ramses. Ramses raging, but Ramses, he has to run. Held in place by the root. Crit with the control of this team fight. Solo now being focused by Sumail. Artur comes across with the nuke to blow him down. Sumail finds the triple. They're taken down 4. Zai, he's chasing down Pasha. This IO with big old balls. 12-4 EG. I mean, it really feels like VP just haven't woken up this morning, because Evil Geniuses are just 2 steps ahead.
They almost felt like a VP team that looked almost broken by EG. The way they just chased after they used a lot to reveal the Blink and not kill Arteezy, and then they still chased up into the high ground. EG had the high ground advantage there, were ready for them. Arteezy wasn't that far off, he just had to walk his way back to the fight from bottom lane, and
the amount that they're grouped up. You know, Universe comes in, he does get Dragon Tail, but just with the cogs controlling Lil and no one. Crit with a huge overgrowth there, holding him in place.
Yeah.
And they've actually just caught it! They've actually just caught it! Ramses is out! Oh, I can't believe it! If you told me game 1 of today was going to end within 16 minutes, I would not have believed you. But Evil Geniuses was what I think was the quickest win we've seen on the main stage here so far.